grade. I'll start again. Sorry about that. All right, welcome everyone to the Battle of the Books 5th grade 2023 Team Manager Zoom. I'm glad you guys are able to make it. We're going to go through the Zoom slide presentation, and then at the end, everyone will have an opportunity to ask questions. If you want to drop questions in the chat, Ms. Wilson is with us monitoring the Zoom, and we'll answer those questions at the end. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, things we'll discuss today. What is the Battle of the Books? General guidelines for Bob 2023. Your roles as team managers, team names, posters, and costumes. Book lists for your grade, and the pickup information for books, book lists, and posters. And then at the end, like I said, we'll have time for questions for the team managers and other participants. Just to let you guys know, this Zoom is really designed for the team managers. If the kids want to watch, that is totally fine. All right, when is battle? The most important thing we're going to discuss tonight, right? Battle of the Books for 5th grade is Thursday, April 13th at Sewickley Academy Gym. Just a quick reminder, team members should plan to arrive at 6:45 so that we may promptly start at 7 p.m. You guys, most of you guys did this last year, so you guys know the drill. What is Battle of the Books? Battle of the Books is a team competition in which teams of students, of 4 to 5 students, read from a list of 10 books and picked by the Sewickley Public Library Children's Department and answer trivia-style questions based on those books. All right, how does a team register? Well, you guys know how to register because you're here. The registration forms will be available online at the Sewickley Public Library Children's website until January 31st. So if you know of any other friends who wanted to do the battle, they're more than welcome to do the battle. All team managers should attend the informational meeting on Zoom tonight, or they can watch it later, and that's totally fine. And you may share this Zoom video with your teams. Copies of the reading lists will be distributed this evening or when you guys come in to pick them up. And teams will be able to check out books after this Zoom. If they want to stop back in, we're open until 9. And you are also able to buy a copy of the battle books at Penguin Bookshop. And you're able to pick the books up in school tomorrow. They will be out tomorrow. You can participate in went too far, sorry. Who can participate? Students in 5th grade can participate. Participants should organize themselves into teams and then submit a registration form to the library by January 31st, 2023. Teams may be made up from different schools and or neighborhoods, but all teams should be in 4th or 5th grade. So for this battle, we should all be 5th grade students. Teams. Each team should consist of 4 to 5 members, an adult team manager, and all team members, including the team manager, will participate the evening of the competition. And rule of thumb, a student may only be on 1 team. That's really important because you can't be on 2 teams. Library cards. All right, all participants should have a library card in Allegheny County to participate in Battle of the Books. If for some reason a participant doesn't have a library card, please ask the parent to stop by the Sewickley Public Library with the child to get a card. The parent will need to bring a driver's license and a proof of residence to receive the card, and the kid. This takes about 5 minutes. We're open most evenings until 9. Weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. So just have them pop on in, we'll get them a card and get them all hooked up. All right, I know you guys want to know what the team managers do. The team managers may be a parent, a relative, or an adult over the age of 18 who will serve as the contact between the library and the team. The team manager is responsible for filling out the registration form, keeping the team members motivated, arranging team transportation to and from the Battle of the Books tournaments. Team managers organize the battle study meetings for the participants. And just as a suggestion, most of you guys have done this before, so I would meet every other week, every 3 weeks. It really depends on how much you guys want to do. If you want to maybe meet every other week for an hour, every 3 weeks for an hour and a half or 2 hours, really it's up to your schedule. The team managers will serve as assistants during the tournament. We'll have you guys working as scorekeepers for another team during the tournament. It's fun. All right. So booking a room at the library. If you would like to have a team meeting at the Sewickley Public Library, you need to call the reference department to book the conference room, study room, or community room. Please note that people book these rooms up to 2 weeks in advance, and these rooms book quickly and availability is limited. So please call the main Sewickley Public Library number at 412-741-6920. You can also meet at your homes or in a coffee shop, wherever you want. But that's just if you want to meet here at the library, please call the reference desk and we'll be happy to set that up for you. All right, let's get into the fun stuff. Teams, names, costumes, and posters. We encourage teams to have a name, to dress up in a costume or a t-shirt, and to have fun with their team themes. Some wear t-shirts, others dress up in costume, some wear their school t-shirts. Be creative. You don't have to spend a lot of money. We've had kids wear their school t-shirts. We've had kids wear their sport uniforms, and we've had kids design their own t-shirts. It really is up to you guys, but definitely go to the dollar store, look at your houses and see what you have first before you guys go out and spend a lot of money on a costume. There is also a team poster contest in the evening for the battle. Just a reminder, the posters cannot be 3D and no authors' names on the posters. The posters are due to the library by March 6th. And you'll see I have a little example over here in my picture. They're reading rabbits. And we will vote, the teachers and the librarians will vote on the best poster, the poster they like. It'll be the best poster of the evening. So it's a really fun competition, really shows off the kids' artwork. All right, what happens at battle? All teams participating in the battle will meet at the Sewickley Academy gym on April 13th. There we got rid of that. And at 6:45, sorry, so I said at 6:45 at the Sewickley Academy gym on April 13th. We'll start promptly at 7. Each team will be seated in a circle after everyone is all situated and we've done our introductions. The moderator will read the question. Each team will have 30 seconds to confer and decide upon an answer to the question, and the team captain will write the answer down on the paper provided. So it's really important to pick one child to be the team captain. It's usually the child with the best handwriting. It's usually not going to be me because I have chicken scratch. So, or guys can draw straws, or they could take turns. It's really up to you guys how you want to pick who's going to be the team manager. Just a reminder, this is a silent competition, so do practice with your whispering because you don't want to give away your answers to the other teams on either side of you that evening. Okay, answers must be complete and specific. There are 4 points awarded for the correct response, and 1 point is given if the team writes the author's last name correctly. Spelling does count, and it's just the author's last name, so it's only 10 last names. They should be able to do this, and these author points really do add up. This could be the deciding point between a win and a loss. Each team will have the option to challenge up to 1 question and or answer this year. We do make mistakes. We are human, and sometimes the kids really feel like they know the books better than we do. So we allow them to challenge 1 question. At the end of each round, the judges will tally up the points, and the scorekeepers will keep track of each point that the team earns, and we'll move on. There are 5 rounds of 10 questions per round, and if we do have a tie, we have 3 sets of tiebreakers to find the winner. This should roughly take between an hour and an hour and 15 minutes, depending on how many tiebreakers we have, or if we don't have one at all. It's happened that we've had none, and it's happened that we've used all three. So we'll see what happens. All right, checking books out. Starting January 27th, the participants may check out 2 books at a time for up to 1 week. They may renew the books 1 time. We encourage team members to bring your battle bookmark when you check out your battle books. Some of these titles are available to read on Kindle, iPad, and tablets. We have the Overdrive Libby app, we have the Hoopla app, and we have our fun playaways and CDs. So there is definitely a wide range of formats that the kids can consume their books. Remember, kids can read their book and they can listen to the book on MP3 players, which are playaways, CD players, tablets, or phones. You can download the Allegheny County Libraries app from the App Store or Google Play on your phone. This will be helpful for you to keep track of your books and to keep track of the digital content that you have borrowed. I advise you, or I encourage you, I should say, to check out the digital resources page for more information. That's at sewickleylibrary.org/ebooks/. There's lots of information there. And the children's libraries, or sorry, the children's librarians and the adult librarians will be more than willing to help you if you don't have a Libby or a Hoopla account, or if you don't have the app. It's very easy to use. It's life-changing. It's great. Okay, where can you guys get copies of the books? The Sewickley Public Library, of course, will have tons of copies of the books for everyone. We have about five or six copies of each book. You can pick them up at Edgeworth School, Osborne Elementary School, Sewickley Academy Lower School Library, and St. James School Library will also have the books. If you would like to buy a copy of the book, Penguin Bookshop will have copies available. And new this year, if you purchase your battle books from Penguin Bookshop, they will donate 10% of each of the sale of the books back to the library. So it's a really great fundraiser for the library, and it's a really great way for Penguin to give back. The folks over at Penguin are really generous and they're always helpful. So they do have the books over there. So stop by to pick them up if you would like to buy a copy of the book. Alrighty, it's time for the 5th grade book list. I have a little key here for you guys. If the book, all of them will be in books, but if it has a CD, it'll be a book on CD as well. If it has a P, it'll be a book on Playaway as well. If it's an L, it'll have digital copies available on Libby or Overdrive. And if it's an H, it'll have digital copies available on Hoopla. All right, here's our first book, Amari and the Night Brothers. This is a supernatural story, and it's really good. It's kind of a good versus evil story as well. Really popular with the kids. It's a great series. Really like this one. Our next book is also kind of, it's also a good mythical kind of series. This is Arusha and the End of Time. Just note here that we are using the graphic novel version of this book. There is a traditional fiction book, but we are going to be using the graphic novel version of this book. This is another really fun adventure story. Jennifer Holm, The Lion of Mars. I love her books. This is a really good book. It's kind of a little bit spacey book, but I think the kids will really enjoy it, especially if they like cats of any kind. All right. Oh, The Curse of the Mummy, Uncovering Tutankhamun's Tomb by Candace Fleming. This is an excellent book. There's lots of facts in this book, and it is written like it's an adventure story. It's a great book, and if you like Tutankhamun, if the kids like Tutankhamun or anything ancient Egypt, they will really enjoy this book. Front Desk. This is a great immigrant story. Kelly Yang is a very popular writer with the kids. They really like her work. So this is a really great fitting book that I think the kids will enjoy, and it'll help them with school. All right, The Strangers, The Greystone Secrets. If the kids like mysteries, they will like this Margaret Peterson Haddock's book. She is a mystery author, and it's a very fast-paced story. Every book we've used by Haddix, the kids really just enjoy. She's tried but true, but this is also her latest series, and it's a really good series. So if they are into mysteries, then this is the book for them. Starfish by Lisa Phillips. This is definitely a book about being bullied. It is kind of a tough topic, kind of a book, but it's really a book for a great book discussion. And I enjoyed this book. I think the kids will like this book. And so I hope they get a little bit of something out of this book, just to be kinder and to be friends and just to be more thoughtful about other people. I really liked this book. Our classic Bridge to Terabithia by Catherine Patterson. This is a fantastic story about friendship and loss. It's just good. They may cry. You can let them know that Mrs. Farmery cried when she read this book. This is just a really good story. A lot of you may have already read this book. It's just a fantastic story. And it is kind of magical too, because Terabithia is kind of a magical place. So I really hope they enjoy this story. And then afterwards, you guys can watch the movie, but wait to do that till after you guys read the book. All right, Other Words for Home by Jasmine Warga. This is a great immigrant tale. She's a Syrian refugee, and she moves to Cincinnati, and it's all about her kind of settling in to her new life. And we chose this one because Jasmine Warga is coming to the schools, to all of the schools, the first week in March for a school visit. So we thought it would be really great to pick a book that she wrote. And this is a Newbery Honor book, so it's a fantastic book. And I just really enjoyed this one as well. I hope the kids do like this one. So, and our last book, I don't know how this one ended up where it is, but our last book is Ban This Book, a novel by Alan Gratz. It's about some kids who get a little bit upset because someone wants to ban the mixed up files of Mrs. Basil Ill Frankweller by Koenigsberg. And so it's kind of like the kids kind of like taking it back, and they don't want this book to be banned. And it's a funny book, but it also really shows the kids that if they pull together, then they too can like really make something happen. So it was very timely. So it's a good one. It's a good story, and he's really funny. If you haven't read an Alan Grant's book before, he writes a great story. The kids really do enjoy his books. All right, so those are the books. So packet pickup information. All right, starting tomorrow, you guys can pop into the library in the children's department to pick up your team packet. In your team packets, we have book lists, bookmarks, guidelines for Bob 2023, and your poster. So it's all here at the library. So hopefully you guys will be in the next week or so to pick everything up. And if you don't pick it up by next Friday, I will find you and make sure you guys get your packets. All right, so now we're going to open it up for questions. Most of you guys have done it before in the past, so I don't know that you'll have too many questions, but any question you guys have, I'm willing to answer.
I have two.
Answer. Go ahead.
Yeah, first time participating.
Okay.
I guess originally thinking about this, I was envisioning that each team would be asked their own question. But is it really that all 15 teams will get asked the same question and they all have to write an answer? Is that
okay? Excellent question. So we'll answer this one and then we'll go to the next question for you. Okay. So what happens is the kids come into the gym. There are 4 to 5 chairs set up in a circle, and we've kind of spaced them out a little bit so there's enough room for all the kids. We use their posters to let them know where they're sitting. I'm the MC. I will read the questions. Hopefully the questions will also be on the screen. We haven't figured that out just yet. They'll have 30 seconds to answer the question. They'll talk amongst themselves. They'll do a little whispering. They'll write it down with whoever the team captain is. They'll write it down. Everyone will have a note paper and some pencils there so they can kind of communicate on the paper. Then 30 seconds will be up. They will show that the scorekeeper their answer, and I will say the answer to the question, and they will get 4 points for the answer and 1 point for the author. So I'll say, the answer. For example, here's a question that that I've been using as a sample question. What was Mary Poppins' street address? She lived at 47 Cherry Tree Lane. The author is Travers. So if they answer the address correct, they get 4 points. If they answer the author, they get 1 point. They'll get 5 points for the question. And then we'll move on to the next one.
Okay, but I guess I'm still not clear. Sorry. Are you asking that question to all 15 teams, and all 15 teams are answering?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Okay. And so that's where they need to be quiet.
Yes.
I know it's really hard to get fifth graders quiet. Really hard. But we'll do it. We do space them out. And not everyone gets the right answer too. So if they, hear the wrong answer, then they're not going to get the right answer. So they gotta think, in their little groups. All right, what was your second question? My
second question is more logistical about the books.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, sounds like 15 teams, maybe 5 people, so that's, 75, people participating. And you mentioned like, we have all of these books at the library, maybe 5 copies. So, how are we getting books in the hands of every kid who needs to read the books?
Good question. So all of the schools will have 2 to 3 copies of the books. So there we go. And then I have 5 to 6 copies of each book, depending if I have it on, some of them I have, oh my God, Amari and the Night Brothers, I think I have like 8. So there's like, just off the top of my head, there's probably 15 copies just in Quaker Valley of Amari and the Night Brothers. Usually like they only get to check them out for a week, 2 weeks at a time. So, they have to bring them back quickly. You can use the apps, download them. If you want to buy them at Penguin Bookshop, that is totally fine. That's completely up to you guys. And then of course we can always order them in from other libraries. All of these books are in the countywide system. There are multiple copies. So they're really, I love Penguin, but there's really no need to buy books, but I love Penguin Bookshop. So if there's a book that they love, or if you find that you can't get,
So I guess, maybe this is more of a strategy for each and every team to figure out, but is the expectation that all 5 team members will read all 10 books? Or are you thinking that people will divide it up and like everybody's an expert on, 1 or 2 books?
Right. That's a great question. So depending on how many team members you have, the kids will divide up the books. So you say that you have 5 kids. So each kid gets 2 books. And then they have to be a backup on 1 book, because that's just how you got to work. You got to work it some way that way. If you've got 4 kids, and they've got to definitely have 3, maybe 4 books. I will tell you that I have kids that will read all 10 books, and I will have kids that they just need to read their 3 books and they're good. It really all depends on the kid. I'm good with whatever, as long as they're doing their job and they're participating, I'm good with it. But some of them will plow through all 10, some will read half. It's all good.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone else have any questions about the posters, about the question length, or the timing of the question, the costumes? Just make sure, I'm going to throw this out there, that the posters are just 2D. They need to hang on the backs of the chairs. So nothing crazy coming out of the posters. Keep it simple. Let them have fun and enjoy. Go ahead, Rob.
So the posters must be mandatory then, and costumes are encouraged, but
So posters are mandatory because we use them to mark where the teams are on the floor. And they can be as intricate as you want, and they can be as simple as you want. It's totally up to the kids, just as long as we don't have any authors' names on the posters, because it keeps it fair for everyone. The costumes can be completely up to you. We have kids who wear elaborate costumes. We have kids who wear their team shirts. We have kids who wear their Osborne shirts. It just, whatever works. A lot of the teams will make posters. I use this as an example. When my kids did this, my one daughter's team was like the purple penguin pony, Pegasus pony. I don't know. It was like a unicorn team. They made the logo. I went to Michael's. I bought all the shirts. We bought the little iron-on. We ran it through the printer. I ironed them on. They decorated the shirts with puff paint, and off they went. They were happy campers. Last year we had kids, we had a group, they were the Star Books, like Starbucks. It was super cute. Those kids dressed up as baristas. We've had aliens, we've had baseball players, we've had kids in game shirts. It's all good. There's no prize for the costume. There's only a prize for the poster because it's a necessity. New this year, we are just doing one challenge card. In years past, we've done up to 3, and needless to say, it gets a little crazy. So the kids will have an opportunity to challenge one question. It's very simple. If they believe that, you know, that they're wrong or that they're correct, that their answer is correct, they are allowed to challenge the one question. And it's just the one question that they get to challenge this year. So they're really going to have to think about if and when they want to use their challenge card. So it's a little bit of strategy involved with the challenge cards. Does anyone else have any questions? Quiet group. You guys have done this before. No worries. If you think of any other question, please feel free to email me. I will usually respond to you within 24 hours. I will be sending this recording out tomorrow for everyone to review. If you do have questions, if you want to show this to the kids, that's totally fine. And we hope to see you in the library this weekend to pick up your battle packets and your books. If there are no other questions, then I think we're done for the evening.